First time we are hearing from Carol Gotbaum's husband. Noah Gotbaum says if police had treated his wife with dignity, she might be alive today. Gotbaum died in police custody last week at Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport. She was arrested and handcuffed after she went into a rage at the terminal. She was on her way to alcohol rehab. CNN's Alina Cho spoke with Anderson Cooper about the exclusive new details.
So, Alina, you have an exclusive report on the investigation. What have you learned?
Well, the most interesting thing, Anderson, that we've learned is that the medical examiner, the same woman who performed the autopsy on Carol Ann Gotbaum, essentially went into the same holding cell where she died and tried to recreate the scene. She had officers handcuff her, shackle her, even secure her to a bench, put herself in the same position. And she was able to do this, interestingly enough, because she was about the same size as Gotbaum.
And there's a question about whether or not she was drunk at the time of her arrest. Toxicology reports have not been made public.
They haven't. From what we understand from our source, when those toxicology reports come back several weeks from now, they will show that there was indeed alcohol in her system. Now, we've also learned from our source, and this is very interesting, that Carol Ann Gotbaum arrived at Phoenix Airport entirely sober.
And how did they know that?
Our source tells us she sent a series of emails. She made a series of phone calls, and she was, quote, entirely lucid. Now, here's where the timeline comes in. 46 minutes before the flight, she apparently left the gate, went to a sports bar at the airport, by all accounts had something to eat, likely had a few drinks. Now, she went back to the gate 1 minute after final boarding was over, and she was told that her seat had been given away.
And it's been, when we look at that video of her initially, before the police get involved, where she's running down the aisle, you know, yelling and screaming, initially it was reported that it was the fact that she didn't get on that first flight is what set her off, but you found that that's actually not the case.
That's right. Now, make no mistake, she was angry that she couldn't make that connection, but that's not what put her into a tailspin, according to our source. Basically, there's more to the story. She tried desperately to get onto this second flight about an hour and a half later. That flight was also overbooked. It's been reported that a man kindly offered up his seat to her, but she was told that she couldn't do that for security reasons. It would be a quote-unquote security breach, and that explains something that a lot of people were wondering about.
Why she was saying she's not a terrorist.
That's right. Why she was yelling and screaming, "I'm not a terrorist, I'm a sick mom."
So it came from the flight, from the gate agent saying it would be a security breach if I allowed you on this
security breach,
flight.
That's right, for someone to give up their seat and for her to take it.
And Carol Ann Gotbaum's funeral was on Sunday. I know you've obtained an exclusive copy of audio from the funeral.
And we should make clear to our viewers, Anderson, that we obtained this audio tape with husband Noah Gotbaum's blessing. Now, it was an emotional ceremony.
Yeah, I've read
funeral.
It just sounds so devastating.
From all accounts, it was. He remembered his wife of 12 years as a loving mother, but he also became very passionate when he talked about how he thought her death could have been prevented.
If the airline or the police authorities had treated Carol with some modicum of sensitivity and grace, or one single person at that airport had put an arm around her shoulder, sat her down, and given her some protection, she might still be with us today.
And we've also learned, interestingly enough, Anderson, that the Gotbaum family is still waiting to get back some of Carol Ann's personal effects, among them her BlackBerry. Of course, investigators will want to take a close look at that. But on a much more personal level, they're also waiting for her wedding ring. You know, as you know, when people are arrested, police begin to immediately remove personal items, and we've learned that Carol Ann Gotbaum's wedding ring was the one item she fought most to keep.